In this chapter, we are going to study about articles. There are three main articles, a, an and the. Use of a or an. Article a or an is used before a singular noun. The choice between a or an is determined by the first sound of pronunciation of the noun. If it is pronounced with vowel sound, use an. Otherwise, use the article a. Look at the following sentences. A. He is an honest man. B. He is a European. C. He is an MLA. D. He is an SDO. In the above sentences, look at the first one. Even though the word honest starts with an H, the pronunciation is that of a vowel and therefore we precede it with the article an. And the second sentence, the word European starts with a vowel, but the pronunciation is that of U, which would imply YOU, and therefore we use the article a preceding it. Students generally make a mistake using a or an before these words. First, an hour. Second, an hourly meeting. Third, an hour's daybreak. Fourth, an honor. Fifth, an honorary post. Sixth, an honorable person. 7. An honest man. 8. An heir. 9th, an honorarium. 10. A house. 11th, a historical fair. 12th, a humble person. 13th, a husband. 14th, a heinous crime. 15th, a young man. 16th, a you. 17th, a university. 18th, a unity. 19th, a union, and so on as it is seen below. The next article we study about is the article the. The is known as the definitive article and it is used in the following cases. First, while speaking of a particular person or thing or one already referred to. For example, she found a purse. The purse contained a golden chain. The golden chain is very precious. In this sentence, a purse is referred to in the first part of the sentence. Therefore, in the second part of the sentence, we refer to it using the article the. Second, when a singular noun is meant to represent a whole category or class. For example, the dog is a faithful animal. Third, the is used before superlatives. For example, she is the most beautiful girl in our college. Fourth, the is used with the names of renowned buildings, gulfs, rivers, oceans, seas, etc. For example, the Taj Mahal, the Persian Gulf, the Charminar, the Pacific, the Ganges, the Red Sea, the Yamuna, the Thames, etc. Fifth, the article the is placed only before the plural names of islands and mountain ranges, chains of mountains, plural names of countries, etc. For example, the Netherlands, the Philippines, the Bahamas, the Laccadives Islands, the Himalayas, the Alps. Sixth, the is used before names consisting of adjectives followed by a noun. For example, the Arabian Gulf, the New Forest, the High Street. Seventh, the is used before names consisting of noun followed by of followed by noun. For example, the Cape of Good Hope, the Buoy of Biscay, the Gulf of Mexico. Eighth, The is used before adjectives like east, west, etc., followed by a noun in certain names. For example, the East End, the West Indies, the North Pole. Ninth, the is also used before the name of directions. For example, the East, the North, the West, and the South. The is used before the name of persons in plural such as family names, etc. For example, the Raymonds, the Ambanis, the Birlas. 11th. Before the names of important and renowned books. For example, the Ramayana, the Quran, the Bible. 12th. Before such common nouns that are names of things unique of their kind. For example, the sun, the earth, the world, the environment. 13th. Before terms referring nationality or community. For example, the Indian, the French, the American, the English. 14th. Before a proper noun only when it is qualified by an adjective. For example, the great Caesar, the immortal Shakespeare, the brave Napoleon. 15th. With ordinals, for example, he was the first man to stand up. The 6th chapter of this book is very interesting. 16th. Before musical instruments and the names of inventions. For example, he can play the flute well. Who invented the telephone? 17th. Before an adjective when the noun represents a class of persons. For example, the young will support the motion. The poor can be trusted. 18th. Before a common noun to give it the meaning of an abstract noun. For example, the moralist in Gandhi revolted against the injustice. The judge in her prevailed upon the wife and she sentenced her husband to prison. 19th. The is used before names of newspapers, communities, political parties, historical events, ships, trains, etc. For example, the Rajdhani Express. 20th. When two or more nouns refer to one person, put the before the first noun only. If both the nouns refer to two different persons or things, the is used before both of them. For example, the producer and financer was present there. In this case, the producer and the financer here is the same person. In this case, the same person is the producer and financer. The producer and the financer were present there. In this case, two different people are the producer and the financer. 21st. The is used as an adverb with a comparative. For example, the more she gets, the more she demands. The sooner you complete, the better it is. 22nd. The is used before comparative degree being used for selection or comparison. For example, he is the stronger of the two. This is the better of the two novels. 23rd. When a person is being referred by his designation, the is used. For example, the chairman, the director, the president. 24th. When the thing referred is understood. For example, kindly return the book. Can you turn off the lights? 26th. In phrases like go to the cinema, go to the theatre, the article the should be used in such cases. For example, he went to the cinema yesterday. She is going to the theatre. 27th. Before the names of committees, clubs, foundations and trusts. For example, the Lions Club, the United Nations, the WHO, the Ford Foundation. 28th. Letters written to two or more unmarried sisters jointly may be addressed. For example, the Mrs. Smith, the Mrs. Anderson. Zero article position. We should learn the following points carefully to avoid the wrong usage of articles. An article is omitted in the following cases. Firstly, before a proper noun. For example, Akbar was a great king. Mumbai is the Manchester of India. This man is a second Sachin. Second, before a common noun used in its widest sense. For example, man is mortal. What kind of bird is it? Third, before plural nouns referring to a class in a general sense. For example, bankers are generally honest. Lawyers are generally intelligent. Fourth, before abstract nouns that express qualities, state, feelings and actions. For example, honesty is the best policy. Virtue is its own reward. Fifth, before material nouns. For example, iron is a hard metal. Silver is a semi-precious metal. Sixth, before names of diseases like fever, cholera, consumption, etc. But if the names of diseases are plural in their form, the article is generally used as the measles, the mumps, etc. Seventh, before the name of regular meals. For example, he was invited to dinner. But if the meal becomes particular, then the article is used. The dinner hosted by the Queen was superb. 8th. Before name of things single in kind like hell, heaven, God, parliament, paradise, etc. For example, he was condemned to hell. The Pope delivered a religious speech. 9th. Before names of languages or colors. For example, I do not know Hindi but know English. I like red and blue colors. 10th. Before certain titles and names indicating the relationship. For example, Prince Charles is Queen Elizabeth's son. He is Duke of York. 11th. Before a noun following the expression kind of. For example, what kind of girl is she? What kind of boy is he? 12th. In certain phrases. To take breath, to set sail, to leave school, to lay siege, to catch fire, etc. 13th. Before nouns which are plural in their meanings though singular in form. Cattle, gently, furniture, scenery, advice, information are some examples for such words. 14th. Before names of public institutions, church, school, university, prison, hospital, etc. if they are used for the purpose they exist rather than the actual building. For example, he went to church. 15th. When two or more descriptive adjectives qualify the same noun and adjectives are connected by and, the article is used before the first adjective only. For example, this is a Hindi and English dictionary. 16th. If two nouns refer to the same person or thing, the article is used before the first noun only, but if they refer to different persons or things, the article must be used with each noun. For example, he is better soldier than statesman. He was a greater soldier than a statesman. 17th. Articles are omitted after the possessive case. For example, his brother's car, Peter's house. 18th. Articles are omitted with professions. For example, engineering is a useful career. He'll probably go into medicine. 19th. Articles are omitted with years. For example, 1947 was a wonderful year. Do you remember 2000? 20th. No articles are used before the name of game sports. For example, I am playing cricket. He is fond of playing tennis. 21st. No article is used before a noun when it is modified by either a possessive adjective or a demonstrative adjective. For example, do you like my shirt? I like this pen. 22nd. No article is used before a noun when it is preceded by a distributive adjective. For example, every student got a prize. Each student was present in the hall. 23rd. No article is used before a number followed by a noun. For example, the train arrives at platform 7. I want shoes in size 10. 24th. Work, that is place of work, is used without definite article the. For example, he is on his way to work. She is at work. 25th. Office, that is place of work, needs the. For example, he is at or in the office. To be in office without the means to hold an official, usually political position. 26th. The definite article the is omitted when speaking of the subject's or speaker's own town. For example, we go to town sometimes to meet our mother. We went to town last year and remained there for a week. 27th. Nature, when means environment, do not use the article before it. For example, if you interfere with nature, you will suffer for it. 28th. No article is used before the name of seasons. For example, in spring we like to clean the house. She is planning to visit her parents in winter. 29th. Definite article the is not used before times of the day. For example, we traveled mostly by night. We'll be there around midnight. 30th. Names without the. The names of many places, especially names of important buildings and institutions which consist of two words, the article the is not to be used. First word is usually the name of a person or a place, and we do not use the article the before such names. For example, Delhi Airport, Victoria Station, London Zoo. 31st. Usually no article is used with the names of airlines and companies. For example, British Airways, IBM, Indian Airlines, etc.